Today on the grid, it's new post-processing stuff day, and we have our friend Dan Harlacher who's going to be Skyping in. Erik, the real Rocket Man Kuna, is here, and he's sharing some secret BTS images today. That's right, he has images of the Korean boy band BTS, and he'll be showing them in just a minute. All right. We've got some Photoshop tips, Lightroom tips, photography trivia. We got a bunch of cool giveaways. It's going to be another fun day here on the grid. And it all starts in just 23.2 seconds. Let's go.
The grid is brought to you by Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Hello. Welcome to another exciting live episode of The Grid. My name's Scott Kelby, but that's not important here. Joining me, as always, the Rocket Man, the real Rocket Man, not some made-up Rocket Man, the real Rocket Man, Erik Kuna, is here. And there's a box on Kuna's desk.
There is.
Is it another exploded camera that died on a launch pad?
I hope it's not, because I think I know what this is. Are you going to
open it?
I could open it up. Let's open it up.
Let's see what's inside Kuna's magical box.
I'm pretty sure, because this is addressed from Mario, who does the Even Longer app.
Mario Speedwagon?
Yes, Mario is the developer for the awesome Even Longer app.
Great app, by the way.
Yeah, great
Phenomenal app.
Right. So he was watching, and he said, "Hey, I got an old camera you can blow up." And I was like, well, I'll blow it up. So I'm hoping that's what this is. Let's see. Let's see what I got.
Could be an old camera worthy of being blown up.
Let's see. Oh, it's really sealed in here. Let's see. Cut this open. I'm hoping it's not. Doesn't look like the ones we opened up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Look at that.
What is it?
Boom.
Is that a 1DX?
1DX.
Holy cow.
Boom.
With a bracket.
With a bracket. You know what?
Dude, people...
Mario, I will blow this up.
No, don't blow it up. This is
a great camera for what I do, because it's sturdy.
Cow.
This will take a lot, right?
Then
the other thing with this one is the buffer. I love this camera. Thanks, Mario. That's awesome.
Dude, that's a really nice... That camera, if you were to go buy it new, well, when it was new, was $6,000.
Yeah, $6,000. I remember. I've used that a lot. You used that on a lot of sports shoots, right?
Yeah, I've got 2 of them.
Yeah.
And it didn't cost free in a box, I can tell you.
Boom, I'm telling you. That's awesome.
Holy
Mario,
well,
I really appreciate that.
Wow. Okay, didn't expect that.
And if anybody has cameras they want to blow up, send them to the grid.
Yes,
blow them up.
Send them to Kuna. Okay. We got a very exciting day today. Of course, we're going to talk about some new post-processing stuff, and we've got Dan joining us in just a few minutes. He's going to show something brand new.
Yeah.
It's in the post-processing realm. I don't want to give it away because it's very, very cool. And we're going to be the ones to kind of show it first and break it here on the grid. So we're excited to show you this. It is an amazing new thing. So we're going to show you that in just a few minutes. Of course, there was Lightroom and Camera Raw and Photoshop updates that happened this week. And if you want to go take a preview, you can go over to lightroomkillertips.com, where Rob Sylvan, who always covers all the new releases, did a great job, as he always does. We'll look at some of them here on the show. We have lots of giveaways and goodies. We got Lightroom tips. We got Photoshop tips. We've got love.
We're full of it.
We're full of it.
We're full of it. And speaking of prizes, what are we giving away this week? We got tons of prizes. As usual.
More than we should.
Right. Well, the folks over at Platypod are giving away a Platypod disc, right? This looks very simple, but it's really cool. If you use this on your camera, it's really cool to adapt for different sizes. And then what I love about it is you can mount the camera any which way you want, because it's circular, and then it'll line up with your tripod head. So it's just great. And then we're giving away a copy of Scott's Light It, Shoot It, Retouch It book. So you can get that over on Amazon. But if you want to win it today, just go into the comments and tell us you want to win that Light It, Shoot It, Retouch It book. Then we're going to be giving away the new Adobe Photoshop for Digital Photographers book. You can get that on Amazon as well. Or tell us in the chat you'd like to win that. And then we're going to give away a copy of ON1 No Noise 2023, a great plugin for removing noise out of your images. It uses AI and all that goodness to really wipe the image or wipe the noise out of your image. Then we're going to be giving away a V-Flat from V-Flat World. These are great because they fold up really flat, go right into your trunk or whatever you want, and even your back seat. And that is for U.S. shipping only. So you have to be U.S. shipping address. And then, but everybody can get a discount on V-Flats over at V-Flat World by using the code Kelby10 at checkout and get 10% off. And then Retouch for Me is giving away their Heal app. So getting rid of skin imperfections, stuff like that on the face, that's what you can use that product for. And you can get a discount on theirs as well, 20% discount if you use the code Kelby1, so KELBYONE 20 for 20%. On that page, the page is promo.retouch4.me. So there you go. And again, to enter that, all you've got to leave a comment. Tell us what you'd like to win. Also in the comments, if you have any questions, anything about post-processing, because I think that's one of the things we were talking about this show is there's so many advancements that have happened in post-processing in the last 5 years. We were just talking about it where our workflows have changed. That's the thing with this AI stuff. I think people go to AI and they go, ooh, bad, AI is going to steal our jobs, all this stuff. All it's doing, AI is doing...
It's stealing your job.
It's not stealing your job. It's making your job easier if you use it that way. Because that's what... I would never show somebody how to do masking the way we used to do it. I'd say, hit select subject. You're done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what's so great about it. So it's just making our lives easier. We just embrace that, and I think that's where... You've seen that happening in Adobe Photoshop. You've seen it happening in Lightroom. You've seen it happening in a lot of apps to where all that stuff is advancing. And I see right now you're actually working on some stuff.
I am. I'm going to show it to you here in just a minute. There's been some updates to Photoshop and Lightroom.
Yeah.
Nothing earth-shattering. Like it wasn't like, we're still reeling from Generative Fill.
Oh, still.
And you know what? I did one yesterday, Eric, where I couldn't believe what it did. So I have a new class coming out.
It's amazing.
Right? I have a new class coming out, and it's called it's travel photography class on creating timeless photos. Right? And I've talked about this topic, but I've had a number of people say, well, when you say timeless, like, what do you mean? And so I did a whole class. I shot it on location in Portugal, and the whole class is basically about how to, in camera and in post, make a scene look timeless. So it doesn't have a timestamp like this was shot in 2022
it could be 100 years ago or today.
Right. And so there's a romance and like a
mystique.
A mystique, thank you. That kind of when you get rid of all the modern things, it takes you away to like a different time and place. And it's just very I use the word romance and mystique and things like that because it really creates it
has an allure to it. It's
it really does.
Yes, it's something that when you do it and do it well, it works so well.
It does, and it's fun, right? And because the process of it. So we filmed this whole thing live as it happened in Porto, Portugal, as we're walking through the city, and you see a scene you want to shoot, and then how do we shoot this without making it look modern? And then what do we have to do in post? Well, in there, I'm working on one thing, and I said, well, we're going to have to go around this. And I go, let's just for the heck, just for fun, let's try Generative Fill. And I didn't think it would work because what I wanted to remove
it's mind-blowing.
I'm going to show you the before and after. Just give me a second. I'll just show you right here.
It's mind-blowing. It does stuff even with... the way it replaces the subject behind it. It's not. For years we were just clone stamp and the healing brush, and it would be like okay, but like this is analyzing the photo and then really realistically putting in shadows and highlights and removing textures, but then putting back the textures from other places in the photo. It's just amazing what it does.
Oh, it is unbelievable. It really is. Oh, did I hit the wrong place? Oh, I sure did. 1 second. Don't. Oh gosh, I just did everything bad I could do in one click. All right, it's in this.
Yeah, we're going south, but we're going to come north. It's coming.
All right, I'm going to open it in Photoshop to show you. Let me just open it because it's kind of crazy. Let me open original. All right, this way I keep all my layers and stuff intact. There we go. So I'm talking about this photo that you see on screen right here. I'm talking about this photo. And we're sitting in front of this scene, and this is, this image has not been processed yet. I do that in the class. Like I show you, here's how we would deal with the dark buildings on the left and just get everything looking good. Well, there's a lot of bad looking stuff in here. There's signs, there's air conditioning units, there's cables and wires going everywhere.
An umbrella.
But beyond that, you got this big umbrella, modern table on the left, modern tables in front of you, all kinds of branches and all this different junk. But it's those tables.
Oh,
like, look at the tables.
And the tables on the
awning.
Awning, yeah.
Yeah, the umbrella.
The umbrella.
Yeah.
Oh,
it all looks bad. And so in the class I'm talking about, this is, so, one technique is to literally just shoot up a little bit. Like shoot up so the bottom is right above the table in the center, right? But then while I'm doing the class, I thought, you know what? Let's just see what Generative Fill would do. So take a look on screen. Watch. So first I got rid of this. Watch. Is that incredible? Like just
it's
that
like you just,
right there.
It's like you went up and picked up all the tables and
moved them. Right. Now you have 3 different choices that you could get. Like you could have 3 different, choices of what it would be. Then watch this. On umbrella. Gone. And
wow. It even did a good, it looked at the other window and applied the same textures to that new window.
And then you've got these chairs and stuff over here gone. That changes the entire thing. Now you got up at 6 in the morning when nobody was there. I'm just.
And you convinced the store owners to move all their chairs.
I'm just stunned. I'm doing the class and I'm seeing it happen live, and I'm just like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. And so, guys, here is the big difference between Generative Fill and everything else that we've had before. Because we've had cloning and all that kind of stuff. All of those take a part of the photo and they use that to make the fix. With Generative Fill, it actually uses AI to recreate the door. It says, oh, the door probably looks like this.
Yeah.
But it's so good at it.
And it analyzes it. The other thing it does is it analyzes it and then gives you 3 different choices. So those 3 different choices, if you don't like one, you might like another, and then the door looks better on this one than that one. Or if you don't want that one,
pardon me,
you hit generate again, it gives you 3 more.
3 more.
So you can keep on doing this
until you find one that looks good.
So, and what I'd rather do personally is do Generative Fill, have it. I don't care if I have to do that 3 or 4 times, which I've had to do, but that's so much quicker than the other technique. Right? To do it the other way would have taken me hours.
Yeah. Now there's still a little cleanup to do. Look, if you go and look,
it's not perfect.
Yeah, so look, it's got a weird thing in here, right? And this post just kind of sticking up there. So you would have to,
But those are minor things. That's
I can get rid of this pretty quick.
That you can get rid of, yeah.
Oh, God, it made it worse.
Oh, that
all right.
Worse.
Well, you know what? This is the most underplayed tool. The clone stamp tool, been there for 30 years.
We would use the clone stamp there.
I'm telling you, the clone.
The patterns are the same. Yeah, you would just go down.
I'm just going to go right down that wall. Let's go up here and resample. And because it gives you a preview inside it's my go-to tool for cleaning up that stuff. All right, so it needs a little work there. And this pole, you can probably, now this might go away fairly well with the spot healing. Let's just go see. Man, it's doing a crap job.
Now those tools look so antiquated or old.
Right.
It starts to make those other tools look really old.
But it's easy enough to get rid of. The clone stamp tool is a hero of a tool.
Yeah.
But look at that.
But the point being is it's doing like 95% of the work, if not more.
Yeah, look at that.
And all you got to
do, I can fix this wall.
All you got to do is
All right. So there are a couple little fixes, but my goodness, that's just a miracle. So anyway, but I hope you'll check out my class. I don't know when it's coming out.
Probably soon.
Probably soon, I think. But I don't know. Maybe Christina probably knows because she knows everything. But anyway, I have there. There's a lot of post processing. There's a lot of stuff we have to do like on location. But it was fun filming it in Portugal. It's a lot of fun. And Jason, our director of the grid and one of our video gurus, was with me. He did a great job. It makes you just want to go there too. It's like, wow, I want to be there. Yeah. Anyway, so let's. We have some shout outs, and then we're gonna bring Dan on in the next segment. So we got something new to show you. I think that you're gonna be like, what? So, there are people that are gonna black out when they see what Dan's got to show.
I think what it's gonna be, that whole thing of this is gonna be what he's gonna show is gonna be a tool that's gonna save you a lot of time.
A lot of time.
And
hey,
that's
can we show
what's so
this
cool.
before we go? Before we go to break?
Sure.
All right. Well, let's do let's do the shout outs on the other side of the break.
So let's do that. So went out, you guys know I went out to go shoot another, this was a test launch. This is something where we were near the Palouse. It's out in the middle of, it's actually in the middle of Washington State. In Moses Lake, there's a test facility out there. There's a rocket company, Stoke Space, that's starting to build a fully reusable rocket, something that even the upper stage can go up. So I've been contracted with them to do the test engine shots, like basically to show the tests. And this is one of so we got a couple shots that I can show from the shoot. This is one of them. So this was their engine, and what's interesting about it is it's got the 15 thrusters, but then what they've done now is they've added a actively cooled heat shield. So that heat shield is going to allow the second stage to come down through the Earth's atmosphere, and it's cooled from the liquid hydrogen. So the hydrogen keeps it cool. This is just a new design. Like nobody's ever done this.
Nerd alert.
So
Nerd.
But the photography side, what do we have here? So this image was created with that camera, right? So it's down there. It's on a platypod. The platypod is strapped to those railings. It has the little legs in it down in there just to keep it a little bit more stable. And then I've got a MyOps trigger on top of it, which is set to trigger on sound. So just that little setup there, that gives you that image. Right?
Wow.
So then we got this image. This was another image from the other side where I set up a camera, did a kind of a tighter shot of just the thrusters, so you could see those mock diamonds that are coming down, those little diamonds that are coming down from the engine. Very efficient. This is way advanced to what they were doing just a few months ago, and that came from this little camera, this camera over here. So I had an R9, or this is an R8 with a 15 to 35 on it, and again a platypod strapped down to it. And that's it. And that camera right there produces that image. So there you go.
Wow. Well done, Mr. K.
Thank
Those were very, very cool.
Thank you.
It is that seeing the behind the scenes shots pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That, it's like it looks very. Now that wasn't taken at that time of day, right?
So this is actually when I left the camera. So I have to clear the pad. It's got to get all safe and all that. So this is when I left the camera. We shot. And what's nice of working with them, I could tell them, hey, I want to hit this time. So I go into photo pills.
Nice.
Like this is actually right before sunset, but it doesn't look like right before sunset. Why? Because the rocket engine is so bright. But I was using the light from the sun and the light from the rocket to kind of meld the two. And it's nice when you can just tell the people in the control room, the test stand, hey, can we hit this time? And they go, okay.
Wow.
I'd love a rocket to do that. That'd be awesome. All right. So we have to take a break. But when we come back,
let's take a break. When we come back, we've got Dan Harlacher with us. He's going to show you some cool stuff, so stick around.
Hi, I'm Rain Hayes. I'm here with the Kelby One crew in Miyaka River State Park, and we're going to talk about my favorite subject, infrared photography. Infrared is a beautiful medium. You have these really special features like extra detailed clouds, glowing white foliage, beautiful dark blue or black skies and water. It's really, really special. class is going to go through all of the equipment that you need, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty of every filter that you could possibly be using to do infrared. We will look at the best subjects to shoot, the best settings for shooting them, and then we'll go into the studio and I'll walk you through all of the traditional processing steps, as well as a few different things that I like to do, plus a few surprises at the end. Come join me for my very first class with Kelby1.com.
I am a portrait and wedding photographer based in Valencia, Spain.
I do mainly commercial and editorial photography, and I retouch up to 100 photos a month.
We shoot almost every day for all kinds of clients, such as commercial, beauty, and fashion. And we retouch our work more often, like every other day.
I used to spend over 1 hour for one photo.
If we want professional results, we must remove skin blemishes, do micro dodge and burn, highlight eyes, whiten teeth, and even reduce wrinkles in clothes. And this can easily take me up to 2 hours of work for each photo.
So when I saw that there's a plugin for Photoshop that helps you retouch quicker, I was eager to get my hands on it.
I read many feedbacks about it, and I found a lot of positive reviews, which made me to consider buying my first plugin.
One of the challenges we have at the end of a session or wedding is to achieve an edition in our photograph that look natural. This is where retouch for me has become a game changer.
I love the feature that you can pick how much effect it has on your photo, and you can adjust it accordingly to your style.
I saved a lot of time and always end up having amazing result with my work.
I am extremely happy with the quality.
Now, I am more efficient and have more time to spare with my family.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Hey, we're back, Scott and Eric. We're going to do some quick shout-outs. Let's shout out to...
Yes, we got Mike B joining us from Albany. We got Steve joining us from Baton Rouge. Jay Dahl saying hi from Utah. Karen saying hi from Alabama. Anna saying hi from Oregon. We got Helen saying hi from Washington. We got Scott Berger saying hi from Boca Raton.
Oh, Scotty!
Soon London. So soon going to be in London. There you go. And then Jerry saying hi from Long Island, New York. Tony from Minnesota. David from Rio Ranch, New Mexico. Vern saying hi from Kansas. Castle Hill saying hi from the San Francisco Bay Area. Graham Pace saying hi all the way from Malta. So there we go.
Malta?
Yes. But now we got some cool stuff to show, right?
Yeah, we do. Standing by is Dan from ON1. Hey, Dan, how you doing?
Great, guys. How about you? Thanks for having me.
Very good. Yeah, we're excited to see something new. It's post-process, new post-processing day stuff. And I think this is one of those things that there's a certain segment of people today that are watching that are going to be on the floor in the fetal position when they see this, because this is something they've dreamed of, right?
Yep.
And a lot of people will find it really useful, but there's a segment of people who live and die by what you're going to show. And this is going to mean a lot to them. So take it away, Dan.
Yeah, well, again, thanks for having me. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something that's just near and dear to my heart, something that I like to do every Saturday morning. I wake up with some coffee and I sit down and I keyword my photos. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who loves keywording their photos.
It's the worst.
I spent 20 years trying to figure out how to not keyword my photos. But keywording is important, though. There are certain things. I mean, I've worked really hard to organize my photos in a way that I can find what I need most of the time, but sometimes looking for something like a sunset. It's like, how do you go find a picture of a sunset? I don't actually keep a folder called sunsets of photos in it. That sunset was probably shot on a vacation, who knows where, and that's how I'd have to go find it. So that's one of those cases where keywording comes in and can be really handy. So what we've done is we've used the power of machine learning so that it can look at all your photos and figure out the keywords for you automatically. So it's pretty crazy. let me kind of show you how it works here. So here we are. I'm inside of Photo Keyword AI. That's the brand new product that we're talking about today. If you're a user of Photo Raw, it's going to look pretty familiar to it. It starts off in the same browser interface that Photo Raw uses. But here's the key part. I've just created what we call a catalog folder. That means I've told it, hey, go keep track of where you keep your photos. This is where all my photos live. It's scanned through all of those photos, and for every photo, it will go through and extract automatic keywords. So if I zoom in over here in the bottom, you'll kind of see the type of automatic keywords that it's going to extract for us. Yeah.
Look at that.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So obviously it gets all the normal photo metadata, the camera information and shutter speed and aperture, blah, blah, blah. It gets the GPS information if there is some, and it will figure out where it was shot, the location, the city, state, county, zip code, all of that kind of stuff. But then it can scan through the photo for objects and regions. There's 800 different things that it can recognize. So in a photo like this one, it's going to pick out things like sky, clouds, grass, things like that. And it's going to automatically add those over here so that they're all searchable now. So if I wanted to find photos that had, let's say, flowers in them that were in this folder, I'll just do a quick search here. And I'll just type in flower. And now it'll search through those photos, and it'll go out and find ones that have flowers in them. So there we go.
Dang, look
There's
at that.
There's a bunch of pictures of flowers. I didn't have to go and add the keyword flowers to any one of those photos to do that. Same thing. Let's say I want to look for buildings. So I'll just type in building, and it will scan through that, and it'll find ones that have buildings. And believe it or not, there's tiny little buildings in the backgrounds of these photos. But if I scroll down, you can see some bigger barns and things like that. Yeah. Now, the really cool thing about this, because most of you guys are probably Lightroom users, might be some Capture One users out there, is that all of the keywords that it finds, it actually writes into the XMP sidecar file, or if it's a non-RAW photo, it actually can write it right into the photo, so that all of the work that's done in Keyword AI will pop up right inside of Lightroom. So if I switch over here to Lightroom, here we are inside of Lightroom, I can do the same sort of thing. So let's say I'm just going to do a quick search here. What did I search for? I searched for flower, right? So I'll type in flower, and it'll go out and it'll find all the pictures of flowers for me automatically. I didn't add the keyword flower manually to any of these photos. And this actually is a larger collection of photos here, but if I scroll down, you'll actually see those same flower photos right in here that we were just looking at earlier.
Look at that. Yeah. All right, so, let's go.
Yeah, if I click on one of these over here in the keywords, it'll show all of that it found for me automatically. So that is kind of the gist of it. Now, AI being AI is a helper. It's not going to replace work. It doesn't understand context like a human's going to. So there might be times where you want to add things on your own. Plus, AI is notorious for not always being 100% accurate. It might add words, then it might find things that aren't really there, or there might miss things as well. Is it better than having no keywords at all? Yeah, you bet. Yeah. Is it going to be helpful to help you find things that you couldn't find before? Definitely. So, yeah.
All right, how do we get it? Where do you get it?
How do you get it? Well, you can actually go to the ON1 website. It's available today. It's normally $69, but we have a launch special today for only $39. So $39, you could add keywords to all of your photos. Seems like a deal to me.
Dude, that is great.
I mean, the amount of time it takes just a keyword like one shoot.
Oh, I hate keyword. I hate keywording, Dan, on a level you can't believe. It is the, the worst. It is the worst.
Yeah, that's the best $39 you spend right there.
I met a woman once, Dan, and I'm not making this up. I met a woman once at one of my seminars who just loved keywording.
Yeah.
She loved it. She's just like, I just love it. And I have a spreadsheet where I keep all this stuff. And I'm like, that's a different breed. Yeah. And, nothing wrong with it, but it's just so far away from what I would do. It's like we're all different. And she loved it. She thought the process of keywording was just so much fun. Like you made that joke about Saturday morning, and she would be like, ooh, it's Saturday. I get to keyword. I'm like,
no thanks.
That is just not for me.
Yep.
All right. So, I thought was funny? I was laughing there when you showed. Can you bring up the last thing you showed in Lightroom? Just show the last. I had a laugh.
Which one was that? So here we are. We're in Lightroom. I searched for flower.
You can just stop right there. Look over in the keywords, and one of the keywords is ON1 Keyword AI.
Yep. We actually kind of do that on purpose. What we do is when we write those keywords, we actually write them into a nested structure so that all the ones from Keyword AI are grouped together. That makes it easier for you to manage those inside of Lightroom as well. So rather than just spitting them all out and you have to manage them individually, it groups them for you that way. So that way you still get the easy searchability, but you also get the management for the people who really want to go in and dig through their keywords as well.
You guys are
and of course,
very
that's
clever.
all. Yeah, and it's all up to the user as to if it does that automatically. I have it configured to automatically embed those, but you could have it set to manually embed. You can control which keywords actually go to every photo if you want to. So if we kind of look back here in Keyword AI on an individual photo, I can actually just click the little plus button to add keywords from the AI keyword field to the real keyword field. That way I can control which ones are added. And you can really go into really granular control over what it actually will scan in your photos. So it'll look up GPS, it'll look for faces, it'll estimate the age and the gender, it will look at the histogram in the photo and kind of determine, is it high key, is it low key, is it high contrast, low contrast, is it a vivid photo, muted photo, things like that.
Yeah,
obviously all the automatic detection of regions and objects and people and things like that.
You mentioned how many things it recognizes. How many was that?
I lost track. It's over 800. I'm not sure the actual total number these days. So It's always learning and adding new stuff. So.
Well, that's
the cool thing is this is all done locally on your machine. This is all on device intelligence. It doesn't have to go to the cloud. The only thing that you need an internet connection for is looking up the GPS. Your photo never goes anywhere. The only thing that goes anywhere is just the little GPS coordinate string so that it can figure out the location for it. But everything else is done on your device. So privacy is key to us.
Okay, so I have a question, Dan. Now, I'm seeing this for the first time like everybody else is. Sometimes the folks at ON1 will let me see something early. This is not one of those cases.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it for the first time, so I'm having the same questions that everybody else is probably going to have. So here's my first question. So let me get this straight. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. Can I take a folder full of images, open it in Keyword AI, and it'll just add them and that's it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's no settings. There's no nothing outside of the preferences you just showed.
Yep. All you got to do is if you make it what we call a catalog folder, that's going to do it automatically for you. And it'll keep track of it. Any new photos you add, any changes, it'll do it for you automatically. But you can do it manually. You can just browse to a folder, select them, and then hit this little scan button right over here. Oops. Hit this little scan button, and it'll scan all the selected photos for you automatically.
And this works, you can use this in Lightroom. You can use it as a plugin to Lightroom. Yes, no?
It actually doesn't need to be a plugin because we all use XMP. So it works as a standalone.
That's great about it. Yeah.
Writes into the XMP, and then any app that supports XMP will pick this up. So Lightroom will pick it up, Capture One, Bridge, everything will read XMP these days.
I think with like you and me, we do it to where we have a root photos folder. That's like our root folder. So we would just add our photos folder with all the folders in it and say scan for keywords.
No,
and
it's not going to do that. It'll do that.
It'll do that.
Like I could take my top level folder.
Guess what he has there? He just has a browser of folders. He's just going to add that folder.
Come on.
It's going to be so easy. We'll be done by tonight. Well,
that's what I do. All my photos are on an external drive. They call personal photos.
Come on. That is awesome.
I organize all my stuff by, subject matter, and then, it drills down from there. But then I just say, watch that folder. So it went through and scanned.
Yeah.
I throw a lot of my photos away. So I've only got like 15,000 photos in there. But, if you've got 50,000, 100,000 photos, it doesn't matter. He'll do it. It's not going to do it instantly. You might take a couple days if you've got, 100,000 photos to go through and scan everything. But it's just sitting there chugging away in the background.
I am impressed.
That's awesome.
That is really clever. Well done. You guys are on such a tear over there. You guys keep coming up with stuff that I'm not even thinking about. Congratulations to you guys.
And we'll probably see some new stuff, and we'll see a lot of this Keyword AI next month.
That's right. We've got a conference. So, Dan, of course, you know about it. You're one of the instructors. But
that's the first I've heard of it.
It's coming up next month, the ON1 Photographers Conference. So it is, and I think that I've never seen a full, like this is a 2-day, 2-track conference. I've never seen a plugin ever, or a series of plugins, ever get their own conference with a bunch of great instructors and all these different tracks, and it's archived and the whole 9 things. It's coming up next month, and I think that's just cool as crap. It's just cool as anything. So anyway, but congratulations to you guys. You guys are rocking it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We love to solve problems for folks.
Yeah, well, that's great. That's great. I love that. I'm thinking, well, I can go home one Saturday and I can drag all my folders.
The way we organize, we're good.
That changed everything for me. That's it, because I have all my photos on
What's so great about it is because the way you're doing it with XMP, you open up a Lightroom and they're there.
They're there.
Like, it's not like you have to do anything on Lightroom. It's just they're there.
Yeah, and if you shoot in RAW, it'll be there. If you shoot in JPEG, it'll be there. Because it embeds the keywords right into the file if it's a JPEG. If not, it creates an XMP sidecar, which was read by, like Dan said, Bridge and everything else.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I think you're going to have a hit on your hands with this thing. Well done.
Good. I hope so. I hope it really helps people find their photos better.
All right. Well, we're gonna take a short break. Dan, thank you for joining us, and we're excited that you chose the grid to show that on us, to show everybody. Thank you very much. And did you hear about Kuna getting a free camera?
No, what did he get?
He got a 1DX.
1DX.
Because, the rocket launch burned up a couple of his cameras, and people are just sending him free cameras. So, Dan, if you've got any cameras, you don't mind them getting burned up at a launch, send them to Eric. We open them on the show, and we just go, that's all we need. Erik Kuna getting more free stuff.
This thing can take a lot of
I think I have an Argus C3 I'll send you. So.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you again, Dan. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, guys, as always. See ya.
He's a very, very cool guy. I get to work with Dan a lot on different stuff, and he's just
when he's explaining it to me, I'm going, this is going to be easy for us.
I didn't realize you could take that top root level. I did not. I was thinking
because of the way we
I was still going to do it. I'm still going to do it, but now that I know it's one plug-in,
and then I don't have to worry about Lightroom. I just got to let it run on my computer.
No. Oh, did you know that I got a new backup system?
No, I didn't.
I have a new backup system,
Really?
and we'll talk about that when we come back. We've also got, let's see what tip I have queued up here. What do I have here? I got a Lightroom tip coming up, and then I'm going to talk about my new backup system.
There you go.
And other stuff. So stick around. We're live here on the grid. Must be Wednesday. Have you seen the latest version of Photoshop? It is the most mind-blowing version of Photoshop I've seen in 20 years. Adobe has taken AI to a whole new level, and it has taken Photoshop to a whole new place. This will change the way we all work from now on. There's an amazing remove tool. There's new live gradients. There's adjustment presets. There's this little floating panel, this contextual taskbar. But none of that compares to the magic, the actual magic that is happening. Got a brand new class where I cover everything. What works, what doesn't, how to make it work for you, how to incorporate it into your workflow right now and start doing things you never thought you'd be able to do. It is going to blow your mind. Come and check out my brand new class, Getting Up to Speed Fast on the AI-powered May 2023 Photoshop upgrade. It's exclusively at kelby1.com. I don't have to tell you how great the camera is in your iPhone. It's really pretty amazing. And I know that a lot of people out there are really giving this a serious thought. Not only is their second camera, but often as their first camera. If you're brand new to the iPhone, I've got a brand new course I think is really going to help. I'm going to cover 20 different techniques, stuff that you need to know, how to set up your camera, how to get the most out of it, and it's really going to make a big difference. It's going to make you fall in love. If you liked your phone camera before, now you're going to love it. We're going to cover a lot of ground. We're going to be on location. We're going to have a lot of fun. I hope you come and join me, and it's exclusively here at Kelby One.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Hey, we are back, and we did the shout-outs, right?
We did.
We already did the shout-outs.
But you know
Sorry.
what we have time for right now?
What's that?
A Lightroom tip.
Lightroom tip, All right, so let's. I'm gonna in this tip. I'm gonna cover something I get asked about a lot, and at first I'm gonna answer that question, but then the tip is the second part.
Okay.
All right, so take a look on screen here, and let's take a look at this image right here. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. And you see how it has a little warning sign up in the corner.
Oh, yes.
What that warning sign means is I cannot find the high-resolution version of this photo. I have a thumbnail, I have a preview, but I don't know where the real thing is. Well, you might be thinking, well, what does that matter, right? You've got a preview. Well, if you go to the Develop module, I'm going to press the letter D to jump over to the Develop module. That's what you get. File could not be found, so I can't edit the file. So, and this is, I haven't gotten to the tip yet, but I will show you, I have a little mini tip, and I've shown part of this earlier. So, let's double click on it, and actually, you're going to click on the actual, you're going to click on that warning sign. That's where we're clicking. And it brings up a little warning, and it says, okay, here's where it used to be. It used to be in this folder on the desktop, but I have no idea. I've lost track of it. All this means is that you, not Lightroom, you moved that file. Now, I have people tell me, I swear I didn't move it.
99.9999999%.
It doesn't, Lightroom doesn't move your stuff for you. Lightroom doesn't go, you know, they're sleeping. Here's a good chance to sneak something around. No, you moved it. You may have not remembered you moved it, but on your computer, you moved it. Oh, I'm going to put this in this folder, and then Lightroom says, I don't know where it's at. And we still haven't gotten to the tip, but here's how to, it's a mini tip. So you see how it says locate. One nice thing about this is you can actually highlight the name of the missing file. Just highlight it and hit copy, Command-C on a Mac, Control-C on Windows, right? Go to locate, and then up here in the search bar, paste the exact name. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
That's it. Boom. There it is. That's what was missing.
I do the same thing.
Okay. So that's the mini tip, and I've actually I think I've shown that before on the grid, but it's this next one. I'm guessing in your catalog, in your Lightroom catalog, that's not the only missing image. It's not just this one. I'll bet you got a bunch of images that are missing.
Well, especially if you move that folder.
Yeah, but there's probably over time.
Yeah, you just get out of sync.
How do you know what's missing? Here's what you do. Go under the library menu and look at this right here. Find all missing photos. And what that will do is it will bring you, watch when I click on it, these are all the photos that are missing the high resolution image. And now what's nice is, like, for example, you see I took 6 shots of this fashion shot, right? If I were to fix one of them, it will fix all 6. Like if it's a group and they're all together.
If they're in that same folder.
If they're in the same folder. And you could probably tell that they are.
Yeah, there probably will be.
So if you find something that's missing and all. Now, these little, hold on one second. These little squares, what does that mean? That means that I made a smart preview. In other words, I wanted to send those over to my iPad and my iPhone. So there is a smart preview. And what that means is a smart preview is it's designed to let you take stuff to your iPad and to your phone. But it has a secret weapon. The secret weapon is that it kind of stores like a big preview. So if I wanted to edit, say, this image, because it has a smart preview, I can go to the Develop module. See, look, I'm in Develop now. There's the masking stuff. I could go to there, and I could make edits and changes, and it will. And then when I plug in my hard drive with the actual high-resolution version, it links the two. So it gives you a way. You can even print this, by the way, not in a big size because it's a small picture, but it gives you a way to have these images with you on your hard drive, on your iPad, on your phone, and you can edit them too. While we have this open, can I show you some new stuff?
Yeah.
So the tip's over. Tip's over. Okay. All right.
New stuff.
New stuff. And this is not earth-shattering stuff. It's okay. I mean, it's welcome. This stuff we're always nice to have. And they did some things. They sped some things up. They sped some scrolling up. They did like all kinds of little tweaks, but I'm going to talk about the big stuff. So let's go to the masking tool. Let's just grab a brush or whatever. If you scroll down a little further, you will see that there is actually a effects panel now. It used to be called, it had a really dumb name before, but it began with a P. What was it called? Perceptual. I think it was called Perceptual.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it had a bad name. Now it's called.
What's it called?
It was with a P. Presence. It was called Presence. Not like presents, like you're going to get presents
Presence.
for presents. All right,
Being
and look,
present.
and there is now a grain control. So you can reduce grain, you can add grain. Now, this is based on the same thing as the grain control in regular Lightroom. It's just in the masking. So if you wanted to select a background behind something, this wouldn't be the image that we would choose, is it? Let's just say, I'm trying to see if I got something with a solid background. Yeah, like maybe one of these. If you wanted to have masking, select the background. Oh, it's probably going to select the white background, isn't it?
Yeah.
It selected everything. All right. So that's pretty good. So you could go here and add grain or take away grain. Now, generally, I add grain to make things not look digital. Right now, I shot these on a gray background, obviously. But if you wanted to add a film grain to it, so it just doesn't. Now, I added a lot of grain so you guys can see. I would not add that much grain, but I like to add a little bit of grain because it makes it look more legit, especially if you put a fake background. Like if I put a gradient behind her, it looks really fake. It looks digital. So by adding a little grain, it looks more organic and more real. So that's one of the things that they added. Another thing they added, that's a lot of grain, folks.
It looks weird. It's different.
It's a lot of grain.
It's different.
Well, it's just, I went overboard with it.
No, but
I know that you can't really see it.
It's the what you're saying. It's to bring back that noise to not make it look digital.
Yeah, that's number one. All right, another thing that they added was in the curves here. Now, for some people are seeing that go, wait a minute, there's curves for masking? What? Yeah, that was added. It snuck it in the middle of the night. It came out in Camera Raw first, and they added it to Lightroom. But if you were to add if you add a
S-curve?
any kind of point to the curve, it adds a new slider down here called Refine Saturation. What does this do? This is interesting. So let's just say that you have a very colorful picture, like the one I was working on before. Let's go back to that one. Where did it go? Well, this is a colorful picture, right? All right, and let's go to the masking. Oh, the file can't be found.
Oh, yeah, because you're in the ones that you don't have.
That's right. I'm in the whole selection of photos that I don't have. So let me go and let's not do that. Let's just go to all photos. All right, there we go. So that kind of, I need something very colorful. This is very colorful.
Yeah.
All right. Let's say I want to go to the masking tool and I want to go to, I'll go to the brush. And we're going to go to curves and we're going to bring up some of the midtones, and we're going to right. Are we seeing anything here? What's going on? Oh, I haven't done anything.
There's no mask.
Let me throw a mask. You're right.
You're
Hold
doing
on.
something. It's just
I forgot to throw the mask in. There we go. All right, that's really bad.
Oh yeah, that's
bad. Really, really bad.
You can definitely see it now.
All right, so we're gonna add some contrast. Well, the problem is, in some cases, even if you just brighten the photo or whatever, it also increases the saturation of the color. In other words, I want this thing to be brighter or I want it to be more contrasty. Yeah. It also affects the color. It literally boosts the color. You may want that, but in situations where you go, I didn't want to boost the color, I just wanted to boost the contrast. I want the bright areas to be brighter. I want the dark areas to be darker. But I don't want the colors to get oversaturated. That's what the slider does.
Yes.
It allows you to reduce the amount. It starts at 100. It allows you to reduce the amount. Look at that. You can see the saturation changing in there.
Yeah.
Right. You can reduce the amount of saturation by using that slider. So that's basically you're refining the amount. I know it's like it's a nice addition. I never thought to think, man, I wish they would add it. And they added a couple other things. Go to lightroomkillertips.com. Rob Sylvan goes into detail about everything, including some new things that they added to the to Lightroom Mobile. So there it is right there. And the first article right there at the top, right there, the June update for Lightroom Classic and Lightroom, which is the cloud version, and Camera Raw. And it goes into the add and remove grain masking. That's the other thing. You can remove grain.
Yeah.
So it's not just adding it, which is different. Then there's the refine saturation. There's a picture of me, which is just worth visiting for. Oh, and they made some little visual indicators now inside of Color Mix. You can read all the. There's a bunch of other little stuff. It wasn't like a big killer one. Oh, there's a new process version.
Yeah.
And the process version is basically the latest math for how they interpret raw photos. But the current one, it just fixed. It helps you to reduce banding in the sky. And reduce banding in general, but where you normally would see it in the sky. So picture a sky that's very blue and has all these different shades, and it moves from one kind of blue over to a brighter blue and all, right? It should be a smooth gradation. You shouldn't see little lines like stair steps. They lead you. That's a good word for it. Stair steps that lead you over there, right? That's called banding. When you see that, that's banding, and it's bad. And so they have a new process version that avoids that more than they have before. Lots and lots
I have a question for you, Scott.
Yes.
Here from Bruce. When you were looking at, so if we go back to the photos that are unlinked in your catalog or missing,
yes.
Can you explain that little lightning bolt on some of your images? I have seen several photos with that icon.
Yes, let me go to the lightning bolt. The lightning bolt right there, there it is. That means this image is synced with Lightroom Mobile. So that image is in a collection, has been synced with my phone and my iPad.
There you go.
So if I go on my phone or my iPad, that image will be there. That is the sync icon. And so, by the way you sync is you have to sync with collections, not folders. And all you do is you would go over here to the left and go beside any particular catalog that you are a collection that you want, and see that little checkbox? You click there and look what shows up.
Yep.
The little lightning bolt that lets you know it's synced.
There you
I don't
go.
know. Now, I think that's an odd icon that they chose for syncing. It seems like it should be like a circle with an arrow or something, but I don't know. Well, anyway, all right. Well, lots more questions.
We have another question here from Kevin. I know this is going to be your answer and my answer, but is it best practice to have one catalog for all your photos in Lightroom?
Yes. One catalog, just one. Your life will be better. Adobe recommends it. It's just one catalog.
Yeah.
Now, so you've had Lightroom Classic for many years now. What, 14 years, something like that? I don't know, long time. And then they came up with this new Lightroom Cloud version. Mm-hmm. The Lightroom Cloud version, which is, it's been redesigned like if they had to do it over again. There's only one catalog. You can't even have another catalog. The reason why we have multiple catalogs, because there was a time many years ago, 12 years ago, 10 years ago, where your catalog would get full of photos and it would slow down, to a grind. It was really bad. So they said, well, what if we have people open up new catalogs? Maybe every time they open a new year comes, they could open up a new catalog, and you wind up with 12 catalogs. However, along the way, they managed to fix that issue. They have users with millions and millions of photos in a single catalog, and it runs the same speed as if they had 10,000. So absolutely, positively, it is the
100%.
Best practice, 100%, one catalog. All your stuff's in one place. You're not going, which catalog did I put this in? What year did I take that photo? Oh my gosh, it'll change your life.
And
one
if you're
catalog.
using multiple catalogs, it's probably because you heard back in the day.
Back in the day.
It's not like that anymore.
I met a woman who was a wedding photographer at one of my seminars, and she did a new catalog for every wedding. She had 300 and something catalogs.
Nope.
Now, if you go to lightroomkillertips.com, which is the website that Rob and I write, you can go over there, and there are there are tutorials on exactly how to combine. If you've got a bunch of other, you can go to the search up in the top right corner and or right there, that search right there, and just type in, let's see what you would type in, combining catalogs. Just see if that comes up. Combining catalogs. Hit the little searchy button. There you go.
Right.
Combining all your Lightroom catalogs into just one.
And that was written back in the day when people were trying to get out of the old way of doing it.
Yep. It's been around for a while.
All right.
But anyway, I'll show you how to do that. It's very simple.
We do have to take a break, but we have more questions when we come back.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
We'll be right back.
Absolutely.
So travel is back. Travel photography is a big thing, and you've got some amazing things to share with us, including near-death experiences, right?
I do. Let's go to Lisbon. Let me tell you what, Larry, Lisbon is one of the most photographic cities in the world. It's the second oldest city in all of Europe, and I'm going to show you exactly where to shoot. I'm even going to tell you where to stay, where to eat. I got some great restaurants and great tips for you. I'm going to tell you how to avoid certain death, which only probably happened a couple of times, but you know, I didn't die, which is great.
Yes.
Nobody with me died. None of us died. It was great. But I'm telling you what, Lisbon is such a photographic city. It's so photogenic. There's something around every corner. Larry, I'm telling you, it's got everything, and it's inexpensive, it's safe, it's clean, it's fun. There's so much to shoot. There's more than I could do in a class, but I did put it in a class. It's a photographer's guide to where to shoot in Lisbon.
And how am I going to remember all this when I get there?
I've got you covered. I'm going to give you a PDF that you can download, and it has all of the locations, all of the addresses, little thumbnails, so you know what we're talking about. You can put it right on your phone so you can have it right with you when you're on the streets of Lisbon. Come with me as we go to Lisbon. I'll show you all the great places to shoot. You're going to love it. You're going to come back with some amazing shots, and it's exclusively here at Kelby1.com.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
We're back. Hey,
We're back.
hey.
Yeah, so we've got a bunch of other questions coming in, but I also know that there's going to be some tips coming up as well in this section.
Ooh, it's there.
Oh,
Photoshop tip, yeah.
Photoshop tip. So we're going to do a Photoshop tip. Scott,
Let's do one.
Tip.
I've got one. I got one for you. So
Yep.
my buddy Paul, hey Paul, hey Paulie Paul. So Paul calls me and he's saying, I want to add the name of my company like to a wall, like to a brick wall.
In a photo, like
in
you
a
take
photo.
a photo and you want to add
And
the
he goes,
name.
so he's asking me, will Generative Fill do that? And I'm like, I don't know if Generative Fill would actually, maybe it would. Maybe you could just say, write this text on, I don't know if it would. But there are other, what's the product it's based on? Generative Fill is based on a product that Adobe released first that was a website. Firefly. I think it would do it in Firefly, but I said, Paul, hey Paul, why don't you just do it in Photoshop using Vanishing Point? He's like, what's that? I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the coolest tool. So I'm going to show you that tip. All right. So here we have, I went to Adobe Stock and got this wall. And let's just type in some text. I got the, what do you call the text? Oh, I have a font here that looks like a spray paint. It's called Underground. There we go. All right. Oh, come on. Give me the right. There we go. For whatever reason, it requires you to type in all lowercase. All right. So you're going to go spray paint this on the wall. We'll say this is your logo. All right. So here's the way I use it.
Logo.
Yeah, it's awesome. Here's the way I use it. So I have this text over here in the layers panel. Hold the command key if you're on a Mac, the control key if you're on Windows, and click on that, on the little T, and it makes a selection. So then you can hide that layer, right? Now, while you're still there, let me start again. That would just totally trash
Back
that.
up.
Here we go. You make some text.
Beep, beep.
You hold the command key and you click on that, and we're just going to copy it. Just say copy. Copy the interior of that text, and then you can actually throw this away. All right. You're going to go under the filter menu, and you're going to choose right there, Vanishing Point.
Okay.
So Vanishing Point allows you to add text and stuff, and it will create the right angle and perspective and all that stuff, right? Because if you just put it straight there, your text will be floating out.
Yeah, because it needs to go down the wall.
Yeah.
And it needs to fade down the wall.
So you just go in here and you grab this tool and you basically just trace lines. You see the blue line? You just trace it and say, this is where I want the text to appear. And it makes there we go, kind of a straight. And it puts this grid there. Now, do you remember I copied that text into memory? So then you go here and you hit paste. And you're like, it didn't work. Why is it up there? Watch. Oh, look. When you drag it down, it falls right into place. And it skews the text on the wall, and it does puts in the right perspective and all that stuff. And then you click OK, and it'll add it to your image. Now, what I should have done was created a new layer for that. So let's create a new layer and just see if it will let me do it again. Let's just do, it's probably not. Stinking thing.
Oh, that's liquefying.
Yeah, duplicate. What I was going to do was then lower the opacity on the text. Anyway, I didn't do it, and so I did it all wrong. Anyway, long story short, that's how you
That's
would add.
Vanishing Point.
That's Vanishing Point. That's
Which
how
is an
you
awesome
would add
thing
the
if you need to
text.
put something along a wall or a hallway or anything that you need to keep something in perspective.
Yeah, I just duplicated the background layer. Let's go to liquefy. We can add it again. A lot of times that's liquefy.
Yeah,
Went to the
that's
wrong
what you
place.
went to liquefy,
Sorry,
right.
that's force of habit. Did it keep the? Sometimes it'll keep the thing in place, but it's very easy to redo. And then, all right, and you paste the Kuna. Oh, it didn't keep the. This is just a trash tutorial today, so forgive me. Let me undo all of this. I guess we have to do it right. Do we have to?
Yeah, you got to finish it now.
Yeah, geez. Let me get back to the text.
There it is.
All right.
That.
Copy it. All right.
Duplicate
and then
the layer.
Duplicate the layer. Let's go to Vanishing Point.
Be expert at drawing boxes.
Well, it draws most of it for you. Paste it. Drop the Kuna in there, hit OK. And now since it's on its own layer, you could go and you could, I would probably change it to like multiply mode or something. Oh, you can't do that because I copied the layer. Yeah, so I'll just lower the opacity, make it look like it's more on the wall.
Yeah.
So there you have it. And you could also do, blend if sliders or whatever you want. But
now I would be curious. Maybe we could do this sometime. Is going into something like Firefly and trying it that way.
And asking, put this type on it. I'm pretty sure Firefly would do it.
I don't know. We'd have to see. But eventually it probably will.
I'm thinking
That's
it will.
kind of where it's going.
I think it will now.
Yeah.
But anyway. All right, more questions.
So another question's coming in. So in Photoshop Beta, I can't zoom in and out with my mouse wheel. How do I fix that? Is there a setting?
You have to, I don't know if you're on Mac or Windows. If you're on Mac, you have to hold, I believe, the Option key. You have to hold the Option key and then zoom in out with it. It won't work with just your scroll wheel. You have to hold Option if you're on a Mac or Alt if you're on Windows. I believe that is the secret.
Okay.
What about David's question?
Then David's question for you is, so how would you edit down, say, 1,000 plus sports shots quickly?
All right, David, I'm going to tell you the way to do
first.
this. I'm telling you, it's going to make a huge difference. It will change your life, and it's what pro shooters on the sidelines and the bench of games and all that stuff that they do makes all the difference in the world. Number one is there on the back of your camera, like this one, there is a button that adds a lock to your photos. While you're shooting and you go, oh, that's a good shot, hit the lock, hit the button that locks that photo.
Yep.
Basically, what you're marking is your favorite photos. Then, when you're done, so let's say that you shot 1,000 photos and you've got 68 really good ones. You're not going to use Lightroom because Lightroom is not very fast for editing sports shoots. What you're going to do is you're going to go buy Photo Mechanic, which is used by every professional sports photographer in the flippin' world. I'm not exaggerating. They all use it. And one of the reasons they use it, just one of the reasons, is what you're talking about. Because you can import just those 67 locked photos. The ones that you clicked on that said, these are good, these are good. It'll just import those. And there's your 67 shots from your 1,000. Going through 1,000 plus sports shots takes time. Going through 67, you've already got them. Now you import those straight into Lightroom, literally drag them from Photo Mechanic onto the Lightroom icon. Boom, they come in. Hey, David, I have a whole book on this. I wrote a book. It's on Amazon.com, and it's Professional Sports Photography Workflow, written by me, and it goes into all this stuff.
Wow.
It goes through the whole thing. But can I tell you something, David? There are a few pieces of software where I buy it and I go, man, that was worth it. Photo Mechanic has paid me back 1,000 times by buying that thing. I could not shoot games and do sporting events without it because it's so blindingly fast. Plus, it has a thing called code replacement. When you're shooting professional sports, let's just say I shoot a football game, right? I have to describe, if I turn in 67 shots to the news agency,
yes,
you have to describe everything that's happening in the shot.
It's basically you're having to like keyword, but like on steroids.
Yeah. So you might say, receiver, Bob Johnson, number 87 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, catches a pass defended by number 88 from the Dallas Cowboys, Fred Johnson. All the Johnsons are playing in a game at Arlington Stadium or the Cowboys Stadium, whatever, AT&T Stadium, that's what it's called, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, on April 13th. It wouldn't be April, November 15th. You have to have all of that on every single photo. So David, here's the thing: you pay for, and you pay, I think it's $100 a year, something like that. You pay for a thing. You go to codereplacements.com. It's a website that before the game sells you every game's roster. You just go and download it. You've already paid for the year. It's a subscription. Yeah. You go and download the entire roster of the game you're shooting. So then you see number 88 is catching a pass. You just type in 88 and a key, and it fills all his information in. The exact spelling of his name, his number, the team, and all. Then all you have to write is you go 88 \, and then you say catches a pass defended by 52. It wouldn't be 52. That's not the number of a corner. But 52, and it puts in his name. But everyone's name is spelled correctly. It saves you a ton of time. And then inside of that, you would write one time before the game, in a game held at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on this date. So it speeds up your metadata thing on a level. And if I go to a pro game and there are 60 photographers in the workroom, there are 60 copies of Photo Mechanic running. It is absolutely an imperative piece of software.
Well, and like you said, there's the other side of it. There's that post side of it. Then there's actually when you're out shooting, like you're talking about, the guys who are really quick and good at it, in between plays, the downtime, you see them, they're marking their photos.
They're marking the photos.
And the other people that are just there for fun are just looking around like, whatever. I'm not doing this for my work. I'm just, you can tell right when you're on the sideline, like who's really good at that.
All right. Now, we're almost out of time, but we don't want to run before we have our photography trivia question, because we have a prize that we give away.
We do.
Mr. Kuna, is it trivia time?
Yes, it's trivia, and I got my trivia question right here for everybody. Oh, yeah, that's right. Forgot we got an intro to it.
Forgot we had an intro to trivia.
Yes, so I've got the trivia question right here. So this is the trivia question. What occurs when the colors of a subject are incorrectly refracted by a lens? There's a term for that. And what is that term?
I bet I know what it is without looking.
Bet you do. So, first
Incorrectly
person to answer
refracted.
that in the chat, Christina's monitoring it, will win a prize. And
hey, did I tell you this book that we're giving away, my Photoshop book for digital photographers? It was in stock at Amazon. It was in, like they were saying, July. It's there. It was there. They're shipping it. They're shipping it. Well, they were a couple of days ago.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my big, thick. Yeah, it delivers. Well, it delivers on Sunday. Boo. Oh, no, you could get it Wednesday.
Well, yeah,
you could get it today.
They're not logged into a Prime account.
You got to be on a Prime account.
If you're on the Prime account,
and what is it? And it's the #1 bestseller in Photoshop. And this is the book where if you ever wanted to learn Photoshop, I start at square one. And I only teach you the stuff that matters to photographers. So we don't go into all everything that Photoshop can do.
Design,
and I also don't show you the stupid stuff. There's lots of stupid stuff that's just like, no. It is a big, thick book, but it is a beloved book by many folks. So I hope you'll give it a look. And,
awesome.
There you go.
Very cool.
All right. Do we have anything else of any consequence?
Well, we have to give away prizes, but I'm not sure if we have. Oh, maybe we do. There we go.
There's
we
our winners. Okay,
prizes.
here we go.
So, speaking of there we go. We have the Light It, Shoot It, Retouch It book. That is going to Rita Himple, or Himp, just Himp. And then Mark and Marcia Going is getting the V-flats.
Nice.
And then Alan B is getting your Photoshop book for digital photographers. Then Jedi Esparza. So Jedi Esparza is winning the Platypod disc. So you got the Platypod disc. And then Barry Morris is getting the ON1 No Noise.
Well, you're going to like that, Barry.
And then Bill Mitchell won the trivia. And the answer is chromatic aberration. Right?
There you go.
That, they're going to win the Retouch for Me Heal. So all you got to do is email us over at gridprize@kelby1.com, and then we'll verify your information and send you out your prize. One thing to know is do that by this Friday. You have to do it by this Friday.
All right, I got one more thing. So, I'm doing a travel photography workshop in London in September.
Yeah.
Now, I let the people that have been to my other workshops know first. Right? It's a small group of people because I only do 12 people at a time. I did that last week and 11 people signed up. I have one ticket left and I'm going to send out my newsletter tonight. So if you got on my advanced workshop, you're going to have a chance to get the last ticket tonight. In a day or so, then I'm going to send it out to the public.
There you go.
But for right now, if you want, there's one ticket left, just one for London. Swing in London, baby. So I hope you'll be able to join me and Mimo in Swingin' London. That's this September. We're at the Hilton. I forgot the name of it. It's some good Hilton. It's a
Hilton in London.
It's a Hilton in London, and it's a good one. And it's in a great location. So we're going to go there. I hope you can come. There it is, the Hilton the Waldorf Hilton in London. Thank you. Thank you very much. There it is. I'm glad the control room's on top of it. They're on top of it over there. All right. Anything else? Can you think of anything else exciting?
Oh, there's tons of exciting stuff, but I know we're 13 minutes over.
Yeah, we should probably go.
We could keep on going. We could talk about photography all afternoon if we wanted to.
All afternoon.
So
we should do it every week.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to be here next week because tomorrow I'm leaving for vacation in Hawaii. What? Yep, tomorrow we haven't been in many years, and we're breaking the kids and the whole family. We're going to go to Hawaii.
That's
Hawaii
awesome.
out. I'm very, very, very excited.
That's
I'm
very
very
cool.
ready for a vacation. Now, I'm not going to do a lick of work while I'm there. Don't call me unless you just want to just hang out and party.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any work. I'm not doing any writing. I'm going to sit in a cabana by the pool, and I'm going to read fun books, not business books. I downloaded Dave Barry, who is a humor columnist, used to write for the Miami Herald. He writes the funniest dang books, and I'm going to go read one of his books, and I'm just going to watch stuff and relax and spend a lot of time doing nothing.
It sounds like a
in
plan.
The, in the
That's something you
island
need to do.
breezes.
Yep.
I'm psyched, man.
I'm psyched for you.
I'm not even taking camera gear.
Wow.
I'm seriously. I'll take
Well,
I'll take my phone.
You are. You take
I got
your
a 48
phone.
megapixel camera
You got a
with
48
me.
that's it.
I'm
You're
leaving.
good.
I'm not taking my gear.
That's awesome.
I know. Very excited.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, so I won't be here next week, but you're in good hands with Kuna.
Yes.
He'll do Kuna stuff.
We'll have a great show. And I'll
Without a doubt.
try to get some special guests.
Oh, yeah, special. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thanks to our sponsors for making the show happen. Thank you to Christina and company, Jason in the booth, all of our crew, Eric sitting over there relaxing. What does he do during this show?
I think he's the liaison.
Oh, he's the liaison. That's a great term.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's the consultant. The liaison.
Thanks to Ron and Juan and the whole crew. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks.